I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Well, you may remember, I would imagine you would, I talked about setting up a mouse trap out here in the workshop. And I used just a plain bucket. Put a piece of wood up against it, set cracker in there, and it's always worked. It's always worked. Well, it did attract mice. The mice jumped into the bucket to get the peanut butter cracker, ate the whole thing, and jumped right back out again. Now, I do remember one unique thing about the mouse that I noticed. The mouse was bigger than I expected. I think we got something going on here. I left this sit out here on the bucket, and I think these, yep, they sit in that little. There's a couple of little notches there. I was thinking that they clipped in. They don't. They just set in. It's cold out here. And I noticed that the top has warped a little. So we'll probably have some problems with that. We'll see. It's supposed to get down to 31 tonight. We'll see if cold is a problem for this trap set. Now I was thinking that thing clipped in there and stayed. This one is wanting to stay. This one is not. And it just drops in and out of there. So in any case, no problem. The design of the thing is the design of the thing. One of the things I need to do, because I went online and I looked up Rinne traps. R-I-N-N-E. Guy built these and they work really good. I mean, he's got a lot of glowing reports on them. But somebody else said, oh yeah, I can make those. Well, in the United States, if you patent something, no one else in the United States or Europe is supposed to be able to make it. But we don't have such an agreement with the people from China or Malaysia, a lot of other countries. So they decided to, well, just make them and sell them. So if you go on eBay, you can buy these things all over the place. Now, I've heard good and bad, and I imagine there's some truth in all of it. Depends on how you look at it. I think a guy who spends all the time, effort, and money to design and build the tooling to make these traps should have the protection of that patent long enough for him to pay off his investment in building the design. Now, I used the bucket trap for a long time before I heard about Rinne traps. But the top on the trap makes a difference. The bucket traps that I used were just like I showed you. It was a stick, some bait in the bottom, mouse jumped in, mouse stayed in, couldn't get out. Well, the mice that jumped out of that snowblower over there were big. I mean, they were like this long. Now, they could be rats. They looked a little small for rats, but they were darn big for mice. I mean, I'm used to mice being about that long. So those guys could jump down into the bucket and jump back out. And if they were in the snowblower, that means that they were in the yard and in the property. And I probably got them. Now, I know they didn't chew through the walls, but there's enough holes in this building that a mouse or a rat, which is really flexible, could probably dig their way through or climb through a hole or find some way to get in here and get past my security system and get into the trap. Now this one, I hope, is going to catch me some very large mice. Now that's not right. So there's something wrong in what I'm doing. This clips onto here, and it's supposed to break down far enough for the mouse to be able to climb up that ramp. And I think I'm going to have to set that ramp up against something, because if I just have it sitting there, the mouse is never going to get up. Just not gonna. I also read that you don't want to, talk to people, watch videos online. You don't want to put any weight on this trap, because that's set. So when he walks up front, it slips down and he can't get back fast enough to get away. If you put peanut butter on the front, it gives them enough traction, they can turn around and jump back out. We're not going to make that mistake. You watch me put the peanut butter in the nose of the trap so that it doesn't get on this black thing. It stays up there, and the old mouse crawls up in there thinking he's going to get that peanut butter, because I've been feeding him now for 2 weeks. Probably laughing his butt off. Okay, I'm going to set this up, put it over here, and we're going to see if we get a mouse or a rat or anything else. I'm going to put it over by the door. Because that's where I had it sitting before with a tracker in it. And we'll see if this little bugger is dumb enough to fall for it. This is where I had the trap before. Also, when I walk into the building, I can see it. Today is New Year's Eve. Well, tonight's New Year's Eve. And we'll know tomorrow if my mousetrap method worked. So that's setting up the mousetrap. We'll see how that works. Come out here in the morning and check and see if I got a mouse or a rat. Either one's okay.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.